Live from WSIL TV in high definition, this is News 3.
They just did so much for our family.
Tonight, more tales of overcoming tragedy following the Harrisburg tornado. Good evening. The cleanup and rebuilding continues across Harrisburg. Here are the latest developments. After rainy weather slowed down efforts yesterday, hundreds of volunteers were back out today. Officials with Saline County Animal Control are picking and housing pets that lost their homes in last week's tornado. A curfew continues through the weekend from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. in damaged areas. And remember, items like rakes, shovels, trash bags, and cleanup supplies are still needed. You can drop off donations at the Mad Pricer on Commercial Street. Services have been set for the 7th victim of last week's twister in Harrisburg. 70-year-old Don Smith died Wednesday night of a head injury. Family and friends will gather Tuesday afternoon at the Level Hill Cemetery near Junction. The retired coal miner will be honored in a graveside service. Smith's wife was also badly injured but was released from the hospital yesterday. U.S. senators and congressmen from Illinois are asking President Obama to help the state secure federal disaster aid. Lawmakers want the president to declare these 5 southern Illinois counties major disaster areas. That's so residents and businesses can receive federal assistance with the cleanup effort. A young single mother caught in last week's tornado gets the surprise of a lifetime. After losing her apartment to the twister, volunteers surprised her today with a new home. News 3's Kristen Drew was there for the big reveal.
Oh, Mark, it's just amazing what can be accomplished in a week. After hearing Amanda Hendrick's story, so many people locally and from out of state volunteered to help renovate a home for her and her kids. And we were there to see her reaction.
Shortly after the Leap Day tornado devastated Harrisburg, Amanda Hendrick went into labor.
I was having contractions as soon as the storm was over.
If having a baby wasn't enough anxiety, Amanda realized there wouldn't be a home to bring her baby back to.
I was amazed that we were alive, and then I opened my front door and cried my eyes out. My whole neighborhood was gone.
But while she was in the hospital, her family contacted Operation Blessing. The humanitarian group organized dozens of volunteers who went to work renovating a nearby home.
I said, yeah, my husband does that.
James and Nadine Smoyer changed their travel plans and traveled from Pennsylvania to volunteer.
I was just thinking, you know, there's something else we can do besides vacation. So I said to my husband when I got home, I said, I'd like to go to Illinois. And he said, I want to go too.
Thank you.
Dylan Stanek and Kayla Kirkpatrick gave up their spring break from college and drove here from Grand Rapids, Michigan.
I had that gut feeling that I needed to come, and so I was like, well, if I have to sleep in the back of my car, I'll sleep in the back of my car.
We did a little bit more than painting and cleaning, but we did the best that we could do.
And they were there to welcome Amanda, her daughter Trinity, and newborn Hayden home from the hospital. They gave Amanda another reason to cry. Pure joy.
They just did so much for our family. This is something people, two-income family, work their whole lives to achieve. I'm so lucky and thankful.
Volunteers say Amanda's reaction made all the work worth it.
So this has been an incredible experience, life-changing in so many ways, and I can't imagine I'm spending my break any other way.
I don't care what it takes or how long it takes or what I have to go through. One day I will do something like this for another family.
What an exciting day. And what was Amanda most excited about?
Mark, she's most excited about that kitchen. She says it seems like forever since she's had a home-cooked meal.
And Operation Blessing has been working on several projects around Harrisburg, haven't they?
That's right. Every day they've got something else for volunteers to do, and so far they've had 2,500 people come to Harrisburg and volunteer to work on projects like Amanda's.
Oh, what an outpouring. All right, thank you, Kristen. Members of the St. Louis Rams are among those flocking to Harrisburg. Rams players, cheerleaders, and others with the organization visited the community. They toured damaged neighborhoods, volunteered at the Salvation Army, and visited Harrisburg High School. It's all in an effort to boost morale and show their support.
Coming in here today, didn't really expect to feel the way that I feel right now looking at everything. I mean, I don't really know how to explain it. It leaves you breathless, kind of speechless. I don't know, it almost feels like something comes upon you when you step into a situation like this.
The organization made a similar trip to Joplin, Missouri after that community was devastated by a tornado last May. In the chaos of the Leap Day tornado, many pets were separated from their families. A team of local pet professionals is working to make sure those animals make it back home with the supplies they need. And they're getting help from across the country. News 3's Stephanie Tierpak has the story.
This gray, short-haired cat is one of many animals found roaming the streets after the Harrisburg tornado. Some of those pets are now back home, but others are waiting for their families to rebuild, or like this guy, waiting to be found.
I can't imagine losing one of my dogs in a disaster. These 3 girls, now they're going to be here long term.
Hours after the EF4 tornado hit, Stiltmore Kennels owner Tricia Stilley was trying to find care and supplies for pets. Since the storm, Stilley and a team of local kennels have helped the Saline County Animal Control take in almost 30 dogs and cats.
There are also quite a few animals that are still out in that area, hardest hit, that people can't catch.
The team is using microchips, rabies tags, and Facebook to reconnect pets with owners. Between the animals left at area kennels, 5 pets have been identified, but their families are displaced. 13 animals are still waiting to be claimed.
I think there's going to be a lot more.
Harrisburg has put a 30-day moratorium on euthanizing animals, and when that ban is lifted, Stilley plans to find homes for the pets left behind.
We will put them all up for adoption.
Donations have been a big part of the pet help, with items pouring in from across the country.
As far away as California, Ann Arbor, Michigan, Springfield, Illinois, they were the first to come with a van full of everything.
Loads of food and supplies have gone out to local families. And when the Harrisburg pet owners have had their fill, leftover products will be sent to other communities in need. For now, the kennel's biggest need is cleaning supplies and monetary donations to cover boarding and veterinary care. Reporting in Saline County, Stephanie Tierpak, News 3.
And if you're searching for a lost pet or need to drop off an animal you found, contact the Saline County Animal Control Office or Stiltmore Kennels. Donations can also be made to both locations, and those donations are tax deductible. We continue to hear amazing stories of survival out of Harrisburg, but they aren't the only ones with tales to tell. This family's mobile home south of Marion was ripped off its foundation and flipped onto its roof during last week's storms. Roxana Lara describes the moments following the storm.
Well, as soon as we got up and we went to walk, our feet just went straight through the ceiling.
A family of 4, including an 11-year-old and a newborn, made it out alive, but their 3-week-old daughter was punctured in her back by a piece of glass and airlifted to St. Louis. The 11-year-old also suffered a few cuts.
The trailer starts flipping, and as I was flipping, I'm just glad I had my dog and my stuffed dog in there with me that keep me from, because if it wasn't right here, it would have cut my neck or something.
The baby is now back home with her family. Roxana says they are grateful for the help they've received since the storm. The city of Marion helped them find a new home. The Salvation Army donated new furniture, and the United Way helped with clothes, diapers, and other necessities. On the Crime Watch tonight, Pittsburgh police say they've identified a gunman who killed 1 person and shot several others at a University of Pittsburgh psychiatric clinic. They say 30-year-old John Schick was armed with 2 handguns that had been traced to Texas, one of which was reported stolen. A hospital worker was caught in the crossfire and killed. Seconds later, so was Schick. 7 others were wounded, including a police officer. All are expected to survive. Officials at nearby University of Pittsburgh say they sent out email and text alerts to warn people of the shooting, but many say those inside the building were left in the dark.
She's just been like basically Googling stuff on the computer to find out, because she really didn't know what was going on.
The clinic itself remained on lockdown for 3 hours. Officials still don't know why Schick went on that rampage. Continuing our crime watch, police in Johnston City are investigating an early morning burglary at Casey's General Store. Police say the suspect used a large rock to break through the front glass door. Surveillance cameras caught this man as he was stealing a large amount of Newport cigarettes. His face was mostly covered, but here's what police do know.
Just a white male subject, probably early 20s, probably about 5'10", 5'11", about 160, 170 pounds.
Anyone with information should contact Johnston City Police. Pleasant weather today for those helping with storm cleanup. Will the clear skies last through the weekend? Jim's forecast up next.
Putting accuracy first, this is News 3 weather.
Quite a pretty day to look at today, but a little on the chilly side. North breezes with us all day long. Temperatures were up to normal, a little warmer than normal for some of us, especially in the south. 59 for the high temperature today in both Paducah and Cape Girardeau. Poplar Bluff reporting 62. Mount Vernon 54, Evansville 52. Pretty easy to see where the cooler air stayed all day long. And taking a look at temperatures right now, 49 in Evansville, 50 in Mount Vernon, 53 in Carbondale, 59 still in Poplar Bluff. Very dry air in place. It's one reason you saw the beautiful blue skies and no clouds. It also means temperatures are going to fall very quickly this evening, looking like a good possibility of a heavy frost tonight and probably a hard freeze. And that's important this early in the year this year, because things are already starting to bloom, so keep that in mind. We're looking for freezing temperatures tonight. Off to the north, Chicago 39, to the south 58 in Tupelo, 52 around Dallas-Fort Worth. Of course, we've had clear skies around here today. A few clouds working up from the south. I don't think they'll get here. We may see a cloud or two tomorrow, but it is looking like another beautiful day. Temperatures should be just a little bit warmer in the afternoon as well. Not much showing up on radar, certainly locally, but we'll be watching what's developing in the south as it will continue to spread this way. And by the time we get to Sunday, and especially late Sunday night, good chance for rain, and it is looking like a chance of another heavy rain event coming this way. High pressure over the middle part of the country, the reason for all the clear skies, so we'll watch those highs as they drift off to the east through the weekend. 32 to 54, our range today, just about right on the normal marks. No rain in our gauge for today. 52 currently in Christopher, dew point 26. That's the dry air I was talking about. And remember, dew point, a pretty good indicator of how low the lows could go tonight. I think we could see some lows around 27 or 28. Not everybody, but a few of us could be that cool. Skycast, beautiful skies. Start tomorrow, a lot of sunshine around, not many clouds. You can see it developing and spreading this way. First round of showers will be soaked up by the very dry air, but then we'll watch that line of thunderstorms develop. Now, this is all the way into Sunday evening. By Sunday evening into Monday morning, looking like a pretty good chance we could see that rain move in, probably a few thunderstorms, and could be some very heavy rain. Does not look like a severe weather event at this point. For tonight, clear skies, temperatures dropping off to freezing before midnight tonight, and then we could go as low as 27 or 28 for overnight lows. Tomorrow morning, it should warm up pretty quickly, and by midday around 50. Tomorrow afternoon, high temperature around 56. And then Sunday brings in that chance for thunderstorms. It really does, not just afternoon, but more evening and overnight. I think there's a small chance in the afternoon. But if you need to get outside in the morning, take care of things, or you want to get out and take advantage of mild temperatures, I think the morning hours will be dry. The rain should end Monday morning, Monday afternoon, a little bit of clearing, and this one's a little different. Normally, when we see the big rain event go through, we expect cooler weather. We're going to warm up behind this one. Monday and Tuesday, looking at afternoon temperatures into the 70s. And Mark, it looks like 70s could hold for most of next week.
So is winter gone? Are we done with it?
I will not give up on winter for one reason. I'm not worried about the snow. You know, we see snow this time of year, that happens. I don't see it anywhere in the charts. I'm much more concerned that we're going to be very warm next week. A lot of vegetation is opening up because it's been so warm and we haven't seen much cold weather. And there is more cold weather out there. Our average last frost around April the 10th. Gardeners and farmers got to watch it close.
All right. Thank you, Jim. Our nation added more than 200,000 jobs last month, but is that enough to bring down unemployment? That's next on News 3.
You're watching News 3 in HD, your Southern Illinois news leader, with Mark Kiesling, meteorologist Jim Razor, and Darren Kennard.
Stocks finished the day up, but the Dow's gain of 14 points could not erase the losses from earlier this week. The morning's jobs report helped boost stocks. The Labor Department is reporting hiring across a range of industries, including manufacturing, mining, and professional services. ABC's David Curley has more.
The Virginia Rolls-Royce plant President Obama visited is hiring 200 more workers.
That's a pretty impressive piece of equipment.
And this is not the only company in America with a help wanted sign. 227,000 jobs were added in February, according to the government, adding up to the strongest 3 months for the labor market since the beginning of the recession 4 years ago. But the unemployment rate is still 8.3%, the first time in 5 months it hasn't dropped. For the White House, it's 2 words: slow and steady economic improvement.
The key now, our job now, is to keep this economic engine churning. We can't go back to the same policies that got us into this mess.
With 200,000 or more jobs added in 4 of the past 5 months, consumer confidence is higher. The stock market is up. But is the economy improving enough to help President Obama's re-election hopes? Or do the GOP candidates have it right when they argue that the economy is growing too slowly?
This president told us that if he could borrow $787 billion, almost $1 trillion, he would keep unemployment below 8%. It has not been below 8% since.
There are 5.3 million fewer total jobs now than when the recession started. At the current rate, it could take at least 4 years to get unemployment back down to 5%. David Curley, ABC News, Washington.
Also today, President Obama presented a $1 billion plan to boost manufacturing jobs in the U.S. He wants to create a partnership between universities, private business, and the government. Still ahead, Kelly has highlights of Woodlawn's state semifinal game in Peoria. Plus, the University of Illinois fires basketball coach Bruce Weber. More on that. But first, tonight's Stumper.
This is News 3 Sports in HD.
Woodlawn boys basketball team has become a regular in Peoria. The Cardinals had to knock off top-ranked Meridian to make their 3rd trip north in 4 years, and a win today would put them in tomorrow's title game. This afternoon, taking on North Shore Country Day in the semifinal. Woodlawn came out firing. Christian Hollenkamp for 3. Cards were up 12-2 like that. Then A.J. Webb hit back-to-back threes. It was 18-7 after one. Woodlawn remained hot from the arc in the second. This time, Gabe Owens got going, and Owens nailing back-to-back threes to extend the lead to 18. It was 38-15 at halftime. The Cardinals then continued the onslaught into the 3rd quarter. Webb with the pull-up jumper from the free throw line. The lead was up to 27. Country Day did make a little rally late in the 3rd and early in the 4th, cutting it to 14 on Austin Curran's bucket. But Webb and company will let the Raiders get no closer than 13, earning a trip to the state championship game with a 62-44 win, where they'll face Carrollton tomorrow at 2. Well, after 9 seasons in Champaign, Bruce Weber has coached his last game for the University of Illinois. Weber was fired today by AD Mike Thomas. This on the heels of a 6-12 record in the Big Ten and 9th place finish. The Illini were 17-15 overall this year, but struggled down the stretch. Since leading the Fighting Illini to back-to-back Big Ten titles his first 2 seasons, in the national championship game in 2005, Weber was just 50-56. Over the past 6 years. Well, SIU baseball hosting Jacksonville State for a 3-game series that started today. Chris Saratella and Jake Welch both with RBIs for the Dogs, who survived a wild 9th inning in which the Gamecocks tied it up at 2. Austin Montgomery scored on an error for the Dogs to win it in the bottom of the 9th. We'll have highlights from this game coming up at 6 from Abe Martin Field. Finally, today's Stumper, we wondered how many boys basketball titles has Woodlawn won? The answer is a little bit of a trick question. While the Cardinals are one of the premier programs in 1A over the last 4 years, they're looking for their first title to go along with a 2nd and 3rd place finish, and well on their way after the dominating performance today.
Quite a win. Those Cardinals have some shooters on that team.
They do, and we'll hear from them coming up at 6.
All right. Thanks, Kelly.
Sure.
We'll be right back. Coming up later on News 3 at 6, they may be looking for laughs, but when it comes to supporting children with health issues, this group isn't just clowning around. We'll take you to Jefferson County for this week's Unsung Hero after World News. And don't forget this Sunday to spring forward. Set your clocks forward 1 hour Saturday night It's also a good time to swap out the batteries in your smoke detectors. And fire officials say taking time to twice a year replace batteries and smoke alarms, flashlights and radios can help keep you safe during an emergency. And if you have a weather radio with batteries that need to be replaced.
I was going to add that to the list. Yeah, well, a lot of new ones went out this week, but some of us that have had them for a while, good time to change the batteries out. Checking temperatures real quickly if you're headed out this evening, still pretty pleasant out there. Most everyone reporting in the low 50s, and compared to this time yesterday, I'd say it's better out there. About 10 to 15 degrees warmer than this time yesterday.
All right, thanks, Jim. The news continues. World News with Diane Sawyer is straight ahead. More local news, sports, and weather at 6 on News 3.
Live from WSIL TV in High